Hello, and thank you everyone for coming to this LifterLMS webinar. This is something that I'm going to be doing more of, just as an opportunity to connect with you as a community, to answer, any pressing questions you have. It's also really important to me to listen and kind of hear what's on your mind. And also, at LifterLMS, we're not just building software, we're trying to solve business problems, learning problems, education problems. So these webinars are a way for me to kind of highlight certain parts and pieces of LifterLMS or show how, it's being used in different industries and that sort of thing. So this is something I'm going to be doing more and more of. So today I wanted to start by doing a short presentation on the LifterLMS voucher system. So, and a voucher is not a coupon. I think that's the very first thing I want to clear up. So what a voucher is, it's kind of like an activation code, or it's a voucher, and it's used for several reasons. One of the main things that makes it different from a coupon code is that it is not, a user will never see the checkout screen to redeem a voucher. That it's something they can do from the registration screen, or if they are logged in and they're on their student dashboard and they have a voucher, they can enter it in the voucher area, and whatever is attached to that voucher will activate. So vouchers can activate memberships and or courses. And a lot of times you might just be using it really simply for just activation of one course, or it could be used to activate, 3 courses and 2 memberships. But it's essentially kind of like 100% off coupon, but without going through the checkout process. So it's kind of like an activation code. And on entering that voucher, that user is if they're not logged in, they go right to their dashboard. And if they are logged in, they're on their dashboard, whatever new stuff was associated with the voucher will show up on their dashboard, more courses that are available. So what is the most common use case of vouchers? The most common use case of vouchers is, and one I highly recommend that you consider, is selling bulk seats or multiple units of your course to a company, a person, a corporation. And the reason I want to really focus on that, especially if you're in the early stages of your platform, one of the things that stalls people out when getting going with their online course platform, especially if they're starting in the beginning with no list and that sort of thing, is revenue, cash flow. They need validation in the marketplace. And it's cool to sell 3, 4, 5 courses, but what if you could sell, 10, 30, 50, 100, 1,000 seats? There's a lot of opportunity to just get, not just to go after the money, but just to make a sale, like from a B to B, from your business to another business. And you need to sell or communicate what your offer is to one person, but that person maybe then, need to activate 100 people in their organization or community or their school or their group. So that's really one of the primary reasons for using a voucher. Another way people use vouchers is for selling offline. So for example, if you were to go to purchase a gift card for somebody, you could have like a card and something scratches off and there's a voucher code under there with instructions on where to go to redeem the voucher. Or let's say you're, at a conference and you have one of those like Stripe things on your phone or Square where you can, take a credit card payment for something, but you need to deliver the course. You need to give them a voucher that they can then go redeem in an online environment. That's another example. Let's imagine that you're a school and you don't even care about selling courses. You just need to give out activation codes to, or you're either the school administrator or you're a teacher of a specific class, and you want to give a student an activation code that has a particular group of courses or just one course on it, and they can, if they don't have an account, they'll be registering and creating that. and then or if they do, they just log in, add their activation code, and immediately all their courses will show up. That's another common way. And one of the ways I like to think about that is it's easy to get in the trap of thinking that you as the website owner or as the teacher have to do everything, or even manually, when that's not really the case. You can share that responsibility with your students. If you're not like selling courses to the open market, or you're a business and you're using your platform for internal training, safety training, or some kind of like on-the-job training or continuing education requirements for your employees, you don't necessarily have to set everybody up manually yourself. You can just give them a voucher code that gives them a certain course or set of courses. So that's another way to use vouchers, and I'm going to show you how all this works. But first, let me say that the voucher system is not a selling system. It's more of an activation system. And in most cases, when you're working in volume, the sales process, it's not necessarily like, okay, I'm going to add to cart and then I'm going to press the plus button or type in 1,000 seats. Normally, the way those deals work is there's perhaps a negotiation, some concessions. There might be a check in the mail, contract signed. It may go through a more traditional route. Like if you're selling into a Fortune 500 company, if you have a course on safety or some kind of workplace compliance thing or online CPR, whatever it is, you're likely going to be working out a deal with the HR department or the money department, and then once you get paid, then you need to just give them 1,000 seats or 50 seats or 10,000 seats, whatever it is, through your voucher code. So a great way to collect that money, you can do it with a PayPal invoice, but really my favorite thing, if I was selling a course into a business, I would use something like FreshBooks. I would attach to my Stripe account. I would work out a deal with whoever the decision maker is over there, and then I would send them an invoice. Once I got paid, now it's LifterLMS time, and I'm going to deliver a voucher. So let's take a look at how the voucher system works. Right here, this is just a site with free courses, and I'm just going to go to the My Courses login. This user is logged in, so you can see over here there's this redeem a voucher, and it's that simple. So if I'm already logged in, I would need to enter a voucher code. Now I have another site or an incognito window open here where I could, I'm not logged in, and if I go to that same screen, you can see there's registration here. But if I am a new user, I could either log in and then activate my voucher. But if I'm brand new, like if I was that student or I was that employee in the company and my boss told me to go to this link, create an account, click the have a voucher button, enter your voucher code, and then I would come in to my course. So let's see what that's like to set that up in the back end of the site here. So if we go into WordPress here under orders, you can see there's a vouchers options here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a voucher, and I'm just going to call this this voucher get all the courses. There's only 3 courses on this website. So let's see, the business course, the health and fitness course, and the music course. And I'm not using memberships in this case, so I'm not going to put anything in there. And let's say I could do one of 2 things. I could make one voucher code. Let's say I want to give this to 40 people. So I could make one voucher code that's good for 40 uses per code. I could add that. So here's the code I would give out to my customer who just paid me whatever, $10,000 for 40 seats in my class. This is just a randomly generated string of numbers. I could, rename it to the name of the company that bought it, so it would be easier for them to remember and manage. But I could also do it a little differently. I could also do it where I want 40 unique codes because the company wants each of their employees to activate individually, and then wants to see a record of who activated and when for their safety training. So there's Chris, there's Bob, there's John, or Joe, there's Cricket, and so on. So I could overwrite these, and I've got my voucher codes there. So I'm just going to publish that, and you can see here where I can export these vouchers as a CSV. So in my nice email to my contact at Acme Delco, after I got paid, I would send them an email with a link to the registration screen, give them instructions on what they need to do, and then I would send them this CSV with the voucher codes. Nice, they could open it in Excel or whatever, and they could activate. He could then hand those out, delegate those out to his employees or his students or whatever in that way. And then let's say I told him a month later, I'll send you a follow-up email with the codes, and it's going to show who activated and when. So that's a neat little feature that you can add to the package if that's of interest to the person there. So I've created these, so let's see what the user experience looks like on the front end. So I'm going to go over to this person. I actually, let's see, let's do it this way first. So I created a fake user, kim@gmail.com. And I'm going to log in as Kim. And you can see Kim has no courses. But let's redeem a voucher. Acme Delco. Voucher redeemed successfully. And then you can see, boom, Kim has all her courses. So that's what it looks like. It's not an e-commerce experience. It's more of like either log in and activate a voucher, or if you're already logged in, you just activate a voucher. Or if you need to register first, I'll create a new one right here. Let's say cricket@gmail.com. Denver. I have a voucher, and my voucher code, I'm going to use that Acme Delco because remember it was one voucher code that was good for 1,000 uses. Now cricket@gmail.com is going to get some emails from us. But you can see, boom, immediately a brand new user enters, they basically register, and these three courses at 0% haven't been started yet are ready to go. So I can get started here, and I'm into my course, and let's go ahead and jump into lesson 1 and so on. And Cricket is off to the races. Now, if we go back over here and we refresh that, you can see that we've got 2 redemptions that have happened here. If I wanted to download a CSV of like when Cricket and Kim activated, I could do that. So yeah, that's a quick tour of how the voucher system works, which is not like the coupon system. The coupon system is more of an e-commerce situation where you're giving a dollar value discount or a percentage discount on a certain access plan, whether that's a one-time payment or a recurring payment. or you're just giving a discount on the trial period, and so on. So that's very different. So if we were in e-commerce land, I'm going to sign out here. And these aren't actually paid courses. So let me go to the LifterLMS demo here. And I'm going to open that in an incognito window. This is a great way to test if you're not like an experienced web person. When you're working with a learning management system, it's always good to like test the user experience of a student, because if you're always logged in as the WordPress administrator and you're rolling around the site doing whatever you want, and you can see everything because you're an administrator and it's your website, you're not really testing the user experience of the student. So it's always a good idea to play with that and know what it's like, what your students are experiencing. But this website does have some paid courses. You can see down here that there's a one-time payment option, and I could enter a coupon code, but you can see how this has a very much an e-commerce feel to it. Even if I had a 100% off coupon, I could do that, but it's not, the voucher experience isn't, either they've already paid, like they sent you a check in the mail, or you charged them through another system, like something you did with Infusionsoft, or some card reader you had on your phone, or the online course was included in some kind of package that, or high ticket program that you sold separately. That's a time and a place for a voucher code. So let me see here. I'm just going to take, if you guys have some questions for the Q&A, go ahead and type them in. Let's see. I see. Oh, Kathy's already answered that one. Does anybody have any questions for now on the LifterLMS voucher system? Anything? Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to go back to the chat, see what's going on there. Elaine is out of here. Have a good day. So Cricket asked if this is the default Lifter theme that we've been messing with right here. Both of the sites I've been demonstrating are the LifterLMS Launchpad theme. And then just to be clear, LifterLMS, the WordPress Learning Management System online courses plugin, is a plugin. But we do have our own theme. Lifter does work with any well-coded WordPress theme. If you get LifterLMS Pro, which is included in the Universe bundle and sold by itself, it also includes the Launchpad settings that if you like the design of the LifterLMS demo. So LifterLMS does have some light CSS, but it's it's designed to be theme agnostic. We do have something called LifterLMS Labs, where you can, it's a free WordPress plugin that has some experimental or just kind of not critical to everybody features in it. One of those features is called simple branding. So that's a free plugin that if people want to mess around with the design, the native design of LifterLMS, but they don't want to get into custom coding, this LifterLMS Labs simple branding plugin can help with that. Do you have any plans to connect the checkout with voucher issuing? I would like to sell 5 user bundles. Daryl, that's a great question. It's not an immediate on the horizon. I'm trying to think of different ways you could pull that off, though, because if you were to use the LifterLMS WooCommerce integration, that you can have quantities over there, and you can have volume-based pricing. So you could, at least today, you could, if you were to hook that up, you could have a product in WooCommerce, and once that order would come in, you could hang it up in processing. You could see that, and then you could like manually give them the vouchers once you got notified that you had an order of that particular volume product or whatever. I know that's not a perfect situation, and it's not, fully automated, but you could definitely get going with that theory right now, in terms of, just doing that and just having to just manually kind of convert that sale to giving them the voucher. But we're definitely listening. If that's a request we keep getting, we will, it is something we might focus on. John, thanks, Chris. He's got the big pictures on vouchers. Yeah. All right. So we'll hook up, John. Glad you had a good holiday, and get going on the bundle. Woo would be nice. We already do have the WooCommerce integration. So Cease, I'm just going to jump over to that. If you go to the LifterLMS website and you head on down here, in the add-ons, you can see LifterLMS WooCommerce right here. So what this does is this allows you to connect LifterLMS courses to products in WooCommerce, whatever. But for the voucher example we were giving, that would need to be, you actually would not use our integration. You would for one-off sales, but if you were selling like more than one, you would kind of need to concierge that process manually. So I think I see what you're asking there, Cease. So let's see. Ted says, perfect, just what we need. Awesome. I'm glad. Cricket Hair asks, yes. Okay. Let's see, I'm gonna go back to the open questions here. Okay, let's see. Jeff asks, define CVS. I think if I understand you, there's two things. You might be saying CSS, which is like if you need to write custom code. So like, if I were to geek out and get this thing open over here, this is like the CSS. So that's how web designers and developers start messing with the colors and the layout of certain elements on the screen. So I think that's what you're asking. It's not something that everybody needs to learn. That's what you get a WordPress theme for, to kind of have a design. But if you're not happy with the design or want to take your stuff in different directions, sometimes you need to code a little bit. So I think that was a question. If I missed it, let me know on that one. So let's see. Cricket asks, is there a way in the back end to change the auto-generated voucher codes? Yes, there is. So if we were to go back over there, I think I showed that, but just to be clear, you can overwrite the automatically generated ones if you want to. Let's see. Let's see. Can vouchers be used to control the number of lessons over time? Great question, David. Vouchers are more for just access to the course and the membership. To control the lessons over time, you would want to use the drip content feature in LifterLMS. So I can point to that real quick here. So if I were to go to this music course and I were to get into this lesson here, you can see the drip settings where we could, have this lesson available on a specific date or a certain number of days after enrollment in the course, or available number of days after course start date. And this is something you would use if you were selling the course before it actually started and you wanted the drip to start after the actual start date. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. Jeff Morris asked, would it be okay to create a voucher code for a user group to test a course? I'm not sure I understand that one. I'm going to answer that one live. So I think, let me just get my panel open. I've invited you to come on, Jeff, if you want to. If you don't, that's fine. Just re-ask the, if you can, try to clarify that question a little bit. So I'm going to go to participants here. Let's go back up. Cricket. Have they appended with a word automatically versus auto-generated random? Have them appended with a word. Oh, I see. That would, Cricket's question is, can I automatically generate some codes that kind of come after a specific word? No, but you, that is something you could get some help with, you know, from, it could be done with development. So Jeff raised his hand. I'm going to bring him on in just a sec. Let's see. All right, Jeff, you are a panelist. There you are. How's it going, Jeff?
How are you?
Good. What can I do for you?
Hey, so really quick, a great class on vouchers, something that my team and I are very excited about. There's 3 of us on the call right now.
Okay.
Let me see if I can clarify the question. So we have a course that we created that we would like a group of students to take and go through the course and receive some feedback before we actually feature the course. Is the best way for those students to gain access to create a voucher code so they don't have to, I mean, is that an option for us, is to create a voucher that we give access to those let's say group of 10 students?
Yeah, I would give you 3 options, and then you could decide which one is the best fit for your situation. The 3 options would be 100% coupon code, a voucher code, or you could actually manually add them to the course yourself. Like 3 isn't an unreasonable number. So the reason, so I would do it in different ways. Like, in order for them to get in the course and take it, it's going to need to be live. And if you don't want the public to see that yet, you would want to develop your courses page to not display all the courses. And you would have a page that would display that one course that you're just kind of doing your private beta launch on. And in that case, you could just give them a voucher code. That would really be the simplest way. But you could also just add them, create user accounts for them manually and add them to the course. But help me, which one kind of, you could do it a lot of ways. It's just that with a number of 3, it's really easy to do it any one of those ways. But are you trying to keep the course private for now?
I I think that I believe that's what we're going to probably do, Chris, is keep it private so that we can test it, get the feedback, and then we want to launch the course from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think an effective way to I think it's a great feature to be able to add a voucher, to give someone a voucher that so that they can go in and test, or so we can get the feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. And their LifterLMS has short codes where they can do different things, and one of those is one that you can use to display the courses on a page. So if your whole platform isn't launched yet, then it doesn't really matter. But if you're already like up and running and you only want your course catalog to show certain ones, then you would want to use a short code to display only certain courses on your course catalog or whatever. But my mind's going to solving all the things you might need to approach around that. But I think, the answer is, I always like to focus on the user experience of the end user. When we design software and when we help people like yourself, I always like to keep the main focus on the end user, because if they win, everybody wins. And if it's easy for them to just like click a link and enter a voucher code, and then all of a sudden they're in their dashboard and they see what they got to do, I think that's probably the cleanest experience.
I think I agree. And like I said, there's two ladies and gentlemen on my team here, so we'll discuss that. But it's always a pleasure, Chris, to have you, just share and enlighten us, man. I'm excited for what we're doing with what you've created.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jeff.
All right, my friend. Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Cool. So let's see. I'm going to answer some more of the text questions. And if anybody else wants to come on like Jeff did and ask any questions live, I'm happy to do that. Let's see. Oh, Cease is asking, how good is the integration with Divi? You should join the LifterLMS VIP Facebook group. There's some Divi users in there, and we also just released a LifterLMS lab that provides deeper integration with Divi. It's something we're committed to. We have a lot of Divi users, and we're here to help. But there's also a strong community. There's other people building some themes for LifterLMS with Divi. You should check out Michelle Noonan's theme for Divi. The name's escaping me at the moment, but she has a great looking Divi child theme for LifterLMS. It's worth checking out. So I'm just going to leave you a note. Join the LifterLMS VIP Facebook group. So if anybody else on this call is not in that yet, I would recommend you join. Let's see. Okay, so Cricket wants XXX-Awesome Sauce 2017. Like, I see what you're trying to do. We're not quite there with that, but that is something that a developer could help with. So just answering her question. Let's see, Saucy, not related to this webinar, but is there a way to add a price to the course widget? I see the author name and estimated time. I see. Oh, okay. So I think what you mean by that question, Saucy, or Sassy, is the this course tile, we call it. I think you're calling it the course widget. What we've done is we've moved the pricing to the course page. And the reason we did that is you can have up to 6 access plans. And from a design perspective, this would get a little unruly to have 6 different pricing information there. So that's why we did it. And we also took a stance just to make it more learning focused than e-commerce focused. Like, people will get to the price, but the goal is to, check out the course, who's teaching it, is it right for me? And then they get to the pricing information. So it's not really hidden, it's just over here. If you do want to get the pricing on the tile, you could do that with some coding. You can maybe put it in the title if you wanted to, or even potentially use something like a course category to display the pricing on the course tile, which is also called the product archive. So if yeah, those are the options around that. So the answer is not out of the box, but it can be done. You just got to get created around that. So let's see. Will vouchers work for previously enrolled members? David asks, and the answer is yes. If somebody's already enrolled, they can activate a voucher. That was kind of in the first part of the presentation when we were looking at, registering and activating a voucher, or if I'm already logged in, I can activate a voucher. So yes in both cases. So Daryl, I would like to sell 5 user course bundles for a slight discount. Does LifterLMS have a way of connecting the checkout with vouchers so that vouchers are issued and emailed immediately after checkout? 5 user course bundles. This kind of goes with that WooCommerce solution that I mentioned. I'm gonna chat about this live if you want to, Daryl. If you want to come on, I'd invite you to come live. Just raise your hand or whatever if that's you'd like to, but not out of the box. I see Daryl's raised his hand. Let me there you are. Daryl, how's it going? Daryl, not getting your audio yet. Let's see.
Here we go. Is that better?
Yeah, that's good. How you going?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm looking to offer courses to individuals, which is what most of us do. But then I'd like to be able to offer bundles to small organizations where they want to put a handful of leaders through these courses as well. And ultimately, if I could have my perfect environment, it would be great to be able to offer the leader of that group the ability to actually oversee that group as well.
Gotcha. Well, that's definitely a direction we're heading in. That's kind of like a middle layer of management, or it's kind of like a user role that doesn't exist yet. I mean, the thing you could describe could be done now. It would not all be automated. But yeah, I appreciate what you're saying.
So you're saying you could do the sales piece with WooCommerce.
Yeah.
But then how would you do the leading other people lead that course?
The way you would have to do it now, because of privacy issues or whatever, like the admin of the website has access to all the data and the analytics and the reporting. So you would have to like run reports on that group leader stuff and manually feed it to that person like once a week or daily. So not ideal. I see where you want to go, and I'm glad that you piped up, because that is a very reasonable request, and others have asked that. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Yep, you bet. Let's see. There you go. So David asks, can vouchers be used to extend number of hours for an existing X hour course? I'm gonna answer that live if you want to. So not really. Like a course is a course. It has certain lessons. If you want to add more value to a course, the way to do that is through a membership. So like a membership might contain the course and more. It might contain a bonus part 2 of the course, or contain access to a page where somebody could schedule live sessions or have access to monthly webinars like we're doing right now. Which the voucher could be used to give somebody access to that membership level, but it's not really a way to, I mean, you could extend it. It gets into the devil's in the details of your question. So I know we are speaking later. If I don't see your hand come up, I'm going to move on to the next one, and there you go. Let me grab you. How's it going, David? I think
Chris, can you hear me now?
I gotcha. How's it going?
Great. Good. This ties to an earlier question that you had said no to, and that is, can vouchers or some part of the LMS system control the number of hours that are being used by a particular member? So if we have a let's say 20-hour a month course, and we want to do an extension for a particular group, and we could add a membership, as you just explained, to extend the number of hours. But is there a way inside the system to manage the hours that are being used by a particular user?
Not real. No, that doesn't. That's not there like out of the box. It's more of a, like a lesson access management, a course access management, but not like hours per se.
Right, and we're really talking about lessons. So if we were wanting to control the number of lessons per month and give a particular membership group a higher number of lessons, is that built into the system, or do we need to do an add-on?
The devil's in the details on that. Like, with memberships, you could, like, we would first have to get clear on our language and make sure we're using the same terminology. But if by lessons you mean like a course, or which could also mean a class or whatever, certain memberships could have access to certain courses, and courses can be in multiple memberships. And if you like later want to add more courses to a specific membership and have that automatically show up on a user's dashboard, you can do that. The voucher, however, is more of just a way to get somebody through the wall and to have access to that membership or course. So,
Got it. And I definitely understand the concept of the activation code. So getting a user, a group in a particular membership, gives them the benefits of whatever that is. It automatically turns those things on. I've got it.
Correct.
So we can talk offline about the management of the hours.
That sounds good.
Great.
All right. Thanks for the question.
A fantastic system, actually. It's wonderful.
All right. Appreciate that. All right. Karen, explain again the drip content. So, let me just go back here. David, I'm going to move you down to the viewer. So the drip content, the drip setting on a lesson, if, for example, you don't want to have a course like all the lessons available immediately, you could drip like on day 1, lesson 1 is available, day 2, lesson 2 is available, on day 3, lesson 3 is available. So that's called drip content, which is different from having prerequisites. It's just a way to protect focus, because sometimes people come to a course and they can get overwhelmed, or they don't stay focused on lesson 1 and they start watching all the videos and all the lessons, and don't really go through the material. So one way people solve that is with drip content. But if you have any other further questions on that, feel free to email us at team@lifterlms.com. Let's see. Cricket asks, can a course be set as free, but you need registered? Can you use vouchers on that course? Yes. I'll answer that live if you want to come on, Cricket. But yeah, there's two different ways a course can be free. Actually, three. So a free access plan for a course is kind of like a free course. They're still going to need to register. At the lesson level, hold on, here comes Cricket. So Cricket's coming in. Oh. Hey, Cricket. Cricket? No audio yet.
Okay, do you have audio now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How's it going?
There's a mute button hiding.
Okay.
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
This is great. It's generating all kinds of questions, but about the vouchers, can that be used almost like a CRM where you can just get people into your, like an introductory or a community? Like you'd give out one voucher?
Explain the user story a little better, a little more. Like, what would the user experience be? I go to a site and I activate a voucher, and what happens?
They are now a part of a community, but they don't have access to the upgraded premier or premium content, but they're part of the community.
Absolutely.
So if you drip content, it could be like a feed.
I gotcha. Absolutely. So there's a lot of ways to do that. One way to do it would just be, you could have like a membership that's just like a basic level membership, and perhaps you lock down certain blog posts or all the blog posts or whatever to that basic free community membership.
Yes. Okay. Perfect.
And then perhaps there's also a member resources page that has links to the private Facebook group and all kinds of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that. And then there would be other paid courses and stuff on the site where they could upgrade into, or perhaps just one premium membership level that includes a bunch of courses and other, protected content.
All right. Okay. I'd like to talk to you about it offline, but I have something. Yes. Wow. So with the drip content feature, again, my question is, you can use that as a feed. For example, when you're setting up the drip content course, do you have to add everything, or can you continually add items?
Gotcha.
To it?
Yeah, LifterLMS
LifterLMS
is super flexible. So a lot of people do drip content and they are selling the course and they haven't finished it yet, and that's totally fine. That's pre-selling and just getting started with a community or whatever, and they'll use the drip content feature. They would need to create, it would be good to create the skeleton of like where we're going, but there's no content in there, but nobody can see that yet because they're, they can see there's something out there, but they can't get in it yet. So you might need to do that, at least lay down like the frame for it.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, that's totally fine. And LifterLMS also, we have a blog post about the 10 pricing models you can use and then the 4 access plans, but kind of related to what you're saying, which is very common, is people will have a launch where they'll sell the course, and they become a user and all that, but they can't get in yet until February 1st. And then once they get in on February 1st, then the drip content starts. And as the teacher or whatever may have only completed up to lesson 3 or something out of 10, and then they're just working both on delivering the course when it does officially start and finishing creating the content based on, you know, what he or she is learning as the first students are going through the first lessons. So Lifter's got that all covered. So many different ways to kind of configure that and work with drip content, prerequisites, launches, all that stuff.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Great webinar.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Feel free to hit me up anytime, team@LifterLMS.com.
Oh, yeah, I meant to. When did I last PM you? It was like, what, 2 weeks ago now. And so you're waiting for me to answer you, and I'm like, oh.
It's all right. I'm a patient man.
So we'll talk. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Cricket. All right. Let's see here. John asks, general LifterLMS question, is there a way for the student to bookmark where they left off in the lesson they are currently taking and come back to it later? Great question. I'm going to talk about this live if you want to. If not, I can I can do it just here. But as you probably noticed, that LifterLMS already has a progress tracking system, so that, you know, if somebody is, you know, completed lesson 2 and 3, they're, you know, when they come back, either logged out or they're still logged in, it shows them to go to lesson 3. Now, if lesson 3 has a video on it that's like an hour long and they left off at the 30-minute mark in the video, that is, that is possible to do. However, that's not a core LifterLMS feature. What that is you would need a good video host that has that kind of user cookie caching system or whatever it is. I know Wistia does that, and there's a new popular one, or there's one that's kind of on the coming up. I can't remember the name of it. If somebody knows it, it starts with a V. I can't remember. It's not Vimeo, but it's something else. There's another one that's come out recently that's becoming kind of popular that does that tracking. But yeah, so LifterLMS has progress tracking, but if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of like how much of the video have they already watched, that's going to be the responsibility of the video hosting. So, but Wistia is awesome. That would be my #1 recommendation for that situation. Let's see. Karen asks, is there a way to send out a custom email after someone has purchased a voucher? That's a great question. Vouchers aren't products for sale, so not really. There is a way to send out an email after someone redeems a voucher because of the LifterLMS email engagement system. But I'm going to see if you want to talk about that live, because I know it could go in a lot of different directions. So if you want to come on, raise your hand. If not, it's totally cool. But essentially, the way the LifterLMS email engagement system works is there's a triggering event, the behavior that happens, that then an email a personalized email can go out, kind of like how Infusionsoft, ActiveCampaign, or ConvertKit, these types of things work with behavioral automation. But the triggers we have are for, I won't go through all of them, but they're like course purchased, membership purchased, course started, lesson completed, section completed, and so on. But we don't have a trigger called voucher redeemed. However, that is something that could be custom developed. So if that was like mission critical for your workflow and your work process, I don't think that's a huge thing to kind of hook into, but it's not something that works or that is there for you right out of the box. All right. Let's see, Sassy, what payment system is the LifterLMS demo page using? WooCommerce, Stripe, etc. So let's go take a look at that. I think we're looking at this page. If you want to come and talk live, Sassy, you can. If not, I'm just going to get into it. But this page is using credit card. So this one just has Stripe. That's all that is on this particular one. But if I were to go to the other one that we were looking at over here, and I were to go to the demo, and I was go to this paid course, and I were to scroll down, and if I were to use one of these access plans here, let me go back and pick the other one. We'll do the one-time payment. This right here is the LifterLMS Stripe checkout. And yeah, so that's just using Stripe to connect to credit card. It's the interface between your website where you enter the credit card information. That goes to a company called Stripe, which is PCI compliant. Stripe is the one that deposits the money into your bank account minus approximately 3% of the transaction for providing the service. And you know, Stripe communicates back to LifterLMS if, you know, when the payment was successful and boom, the user is let into the course. If it's a recurring payment situation where it's like a monthly to stay in the membership or in the course or the class, if the payment fails, LifterLMS will remove the student from the course, not delete them off the site, but they'll lose access. That was a big part of LifterLMS 3.0 when we made it so that things like Stripe and PayPal, we also have a PayPal add-on, could talk back and forth with LifterLMS, and we would know the status of a certain user's payment and that sort of thing. So, yep, this is Stripe. I don't have an example of PayPal up here. And we at LifterLMS, just the core software comes with a what's known as the manual payment gateway that you could use if you wanted to accept a check or take a bank transfer, do something through a different method outside of the system. So you could have all three options over here if you wanted. If you want to use WooCommerce, I don't have an example of that up, but essentially what that looks like is over here on this course. If I associated this course with a WooCommerce product, instead of the LifterLMS checkout system here, there would be the classic WooCommerce add to cart, and then you would be going into the WooCommerce ecosystem to complete the checkout. So that's what that's all about. And I'm just going to check the chat. If anybody else wants to raise your hand or has any other questions, you're welcome, Sassy. Thank you for coming. Just going to look at the chat here, see if there's anything else. Let's see here. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Okay, thank you, Kathy. Let's see here. I've got a link to Michelle's child theme for Divi that's designed specifically for LifterLMS. It's called Ventura. So for some reason it's not letting me post that link. Huh. Try one more time. There we go. Thank you, Kathy. Let's see here. Doctor asked, are we able to integrate with ActiveCampaign? DR asked that. Yes, you can integrate with ActiveCampaign. I use ActiveCampaign and love ActiveCampaign. These courses right here are connected to the LifterLMS ActiveCampaign account. And the way we do that is through WP Fusion. So it's an add-on made by a different company. So if you want to connect LifterLMS to ActiveCampaign, let me get this out of the way here, or Infusionsoft or Drip, which was recently acquired by Lead Pages, or Entreport, this is your ticket. And I love this plugin, and I use it personally for our courses to connect with LifterLMS stuff to ActiveCampaign. So, yep, check out WP Fusion. You can find that in the LifterLMS store. And let's see. All right. Well, I'm going to go back over to the viewers. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody that came. If anybody has any other questions, please feel free to hit us up at LifterLMS.com. You can email us directly for if you've got some questions at team@LifterLMS.com. Thank you, John. Let's hook up soon in the chat. Appreciate that. Thank you, Cease. Team@LifterLMS.com. If you scroll down on the website, if you have a support issue, you can log into your account here and submit a ticket. If you just want to chat with me, we have this contact right here. And you can even schedule a live 15-minute call with me. And then if you have any questions about our done-for-you setup services, we have this form here, and you can schedule a 15-minute call if you have any questions about that. So that's how to get in touch with us. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. I appreciate it. Thanks for choosing LifterLMS. We care a lot about you. We care about what it is you want to do, and we're here. We really care about your business model and what you're trying to do, because when we can help you teach better and build your online school or your online learning business, we all win. So that's our main objective. So thank you again for coming to this webinar presentation on LifterLMS vouchers. I'm going to be doing more of these. So if there's a specific topic that you would like to hear more about, please let me know, and we'll get into some other issues. So if you want to talk about e-commerce or how to do different things with Lifter, and have like a focused presentation on a specific area of the software, I want to make sure when we do these that we're hitting those things you're really curious about. So thanks again, everyone, and I hope you have a great rest of your morning, day, or evening.